entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators. Today we have a special guest.
Shalom, shalom. This is Krueshef. Don't know. TNTM Records.
Welcome. Thank you for coming on. I'm ecstatic to talk to you. I loved your song, by the way. I bumped it and I played it and I was like, wow, it just gets you in a good mood. You feel good. You feel like you can just go out and do anything in the world. Like
That's right.
Positive, you know. But I love always going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory in life. So like, you know, when we're kids, the things that we like pick up, our little habits along the way kind of follow us along into our adulthood. But so tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And kind of how did you find your way into music?
Man, but my childhood, man. Oh, going back.
Yeah, way back.
Way back. So I grew up in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. You know, back then it was, you know, I was living with my mom and dad, like 7 of us, you know, and so life was kind of rough. Used to, you know, stay in the islands, and we grew up on a farm. So, you know, we had everything like how everybody else had, you know what I mean? We had like a house and stuff like that. We used to I lived in a shack. So it was, you know, it was some crazy family issues going on too. And that's how we got in the shack. You know, until my mom told me everything. But it was rough, you know. Grew up in the island back then. It was a lot of violence, a lot of crime, a lot of gang, you know, and I grew up on the west side of the island. So, you know, for me, it's like I got almost caught up into that mix, trying to help out, you know, family and trying to be tough, you know, because it's like you can't be a chump in St. Croix because they'll take advantage of you back then. It was more of you got to be hardcore, you know? And so my childhood it was basically I fight a lot. And, you know, my dad, he sort of bring me into boxing.
Okay.
And so the boxing is what kind of really helped me stay focused in school and not get into fights all the time, and, you know, not join the guys on the corner and trying to do stuff. So I think being in that boxing element and growing up there in St. Croix, and then when I went to like middle school, that's when I fall in love with music. I heard Bounty Killer track. And when I heard the Bounty Killer track, Benz and Beamer, I said, wow, I could do this. I sound just like him. And my teacher and everybody was like, what? You sound like Bounty. Okay, let's make a bet. If you do a song, come in class tomorrow and you perform it in front of everyone, and we'll see how you do, and we'll be the judge. So I said, okay, bet. So I went home, write a song that same day, came back in the next day, did the song, and they was like blown away. They couldn't believe it. They said, what? How do you have that deep voice at that young age? I was only like 12 years old.
Wow.
12 years old.
That's amazing.
And from that point on, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, with all of St. Croix, you know, growing up in St. Croix, even though I've grew up in the hood and stuff like that, it has some good things. I remember walking bare feet, riding my horses, and, you know, just kicking it with my friends and eating some mangoes and going to the beach. And, you know, that to me was a good part of life.
Yeah,
so, you know,
that sounds lovely. That sounds really lovely. Mangoes, riding horses, you know, that sounds like a good day. So,
That's right.
so you didn't get in the gangs because of the boxing, which is great. So how long were you doing boxing for? Were you doing it professionally? Did you turn professional in it, or?
Oh yeah, I've been boxing. My dad had me training since I was like 5 years old, and so my first fight was at 12 years old.
Wow!
And I was the Caribbean champion at 15 years old. Never lost a fight. Represented the USVI twice in the Caribbean Carver Games. I've won that twice. Came to New York City, became the New York City Golden Gloves champion. Went to
Wow.
Colorado, became the Colorado Golden Gloves champion, state champion, regional champion, and then the national champion for the whole USA. And that was I was ranked number 2 in the USA as an amateur. And then I got to participate in the Olympics as an alternate for USA Olympic team in 2004. And
Wow.
so in boxing, I was a beast, man. I was tearing them up as, as an amateur.
That's awesome. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
man.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I know a little bit about boxing. I actually, but one of my first before I got into film, my first professional gig was working with Roy Jones Jr. Working and shooting a lot of his music videos, and I
Nice.
got to train with him in the boxing ring for like about two, like, well, not just like actually try to do boxing for like, I just got to do it because I worked for him for 2 years. And yeah, he's just like, it's like, it's just crazy the skill set that it takes to do what you're doing. Like boxing it's a really intricate, um, insane and intense kind of sport because you're hitting, your face and your
Yeah,
body's taking hits. So
true.
good that you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no. so so I did that for like a couple of years, and then I turned professional too. I
Wow.
turned pro. And I also joined something called the World Series of Boxing. So
Nice.
the World Series of Boxing is like it's like semi-pro. It's
Nice.
like where I fought other Olympians, but representing USA on a team called the USA Knockout Team.
Wow.
And we fought people from Kazakhstan, Germany. I mean, you name it. It was good fights, you know. And
That's
then
cool.
yeah, man. And as a professional, I had 4 wins, 2 KOs, no losses as a professional. Um, and the reason why I stopped was because I got injured in the military uh,
Oh.
when I joined the military, and so my back continued to bother me as I was trying to do my boxing, and you know, I just came to a point where I was like, man, I can't do this no more. My back is just hurting me too much, and it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of training and focus and discipline to be a champion. And if
Definitely.
I'm handicapped trying to fight, it makes it even more difficult, you know?
I can only
And
imagine. I can only imagine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so at my last fight, even though I had the injury, from the Olympics time frame all the way up until like 2015 when I stopped. And I fought with it. I was like, yeah, I'm a warrior. But then, somebody wise said, you know what? But what's the sense of you getting up there and then you can't walk?
Yeah. Yes.
And then I said, you know
Absolutely.
what? That's right. I
Absolutely.
mean,
Like it puts everything into perspective, right? You're like, oh yeah,
mhm.
I definitely want to keep walking.
Correct, exactly. I was like, you know what? Okay, and let me just stop boxing right now and leave it alone. Yeah,
I
so
love it. I
that's
love it.
right.
Really quick, this is, and we're gonna get back on topic of you, I promise. Side note, do you feel like Tyson's gonna beat this guy he's gonna be fighting soon? I think it's Jake Paul or something like that.
Oh, Jake Paul, yeah, man, Tyson's gonna beat that dude.
You think
I'm
so?
so I'm scared for Jake Paul, man. I know Tyson is older guy, and I know they said that I'm a boxer, so I know how boxing is. One thing about boxing, you don't lose your power in
Mm.
boxing. You actually get stronger if you're continuing to train. You
Mhm.
actually get stronger. So the only thing Jake Paul have over Tyson will be speed.
Okay.
So if Jake Paul can if he can, jump on his bike, keep his speed going, tire him out, I say Jake Paul actually have a chance. But we talking about Mike Tyson here. Mike Tyson he's a beast. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Like the legend. He's a legend.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Jake Paul has a chance. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see. I'm excited to see it. I tell you now.
me too.
I haven't been so excited in a while to see a fight. I'm like, that's going to be a very interesting one. Um,
Mhm.
so let's get into your music. So, okay, you're first of all, you have an amazing like roster of music. I love the new your new song that you just released. First of all, it's so positive, and I think that's the kind of music we need now because it's like,
Yeah,
nowadays there's so much going on in the world. There's so much sorrow, so much hate, so much pain. When you look at the news, it's just sad. So it's just good
Mhm.
that there's some good positive music. Tell me about the process of making that song, what it means to you, and why now?
For sure. The reason why I made Greatness and Remix, to me, it was like there's so much bad stuff going on in the world, and I feel like a lot of people need some reminders, just to remind them about some positivity, about some goodness, because every time I turn on dancehall, it was more, I'm hearing a lot of music that doesn't resonate with my soul. It was more slackness. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's partying but not just partying, but a different type of party. It's not the party that we used to going to party,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, I got children now, you know what I mean? So I can't let them listen to every single, I just can't let it play, you know what I mean? Because now I got my girl child, I got my boy child, and I'm hearing stuff in there like, man, what? I can't do this no more, man. I'm 42 years old, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
I want to make some music that I think the families can listen to and enjoy, no matter if they have a boy or a son or daughter, they can come on to Krueshef music and hear something positive,
Yeah.
uplifting, and spiritual for the soul too, with our message, trying to educate them and tell them like, yo, you are born with the greatness, no matter where you come from, no matter, what I'm saying, if you grew up poor, no matter if you grew up rich, it's something that's inside of you that
Mhm.
you have to believe that you're born with that greatness from the Most High, you
I
know?
love that. Yeah. And that's so true. We are born with that greatness. And it is a good reminder to, I think, because society somehow, well, you're reminded a lot of times through just so you look at social media. I think social media is good and also can be bad because it has these
Mhm.
unrealistic expectations subconsciously. I think that weighs on a lot of people's minds, like if I celebrity or whatever that lifestyle is, it's like, oh, what do I, you try to subconsciously aspire to that, but that's not real. Social media is
Correct.
not real.
Correct.
So
True.
you
True.
know
True. True.
I
True.
think
So far.
people just put
Facts.
the best photo online and not what
Mhm.
the things that the really hard work that we don't see. We just put
Yeah.
the highlights.
Correct. Correct. Exactly. Exactly. And that's not life. That's not real life. You know, that's just a glimpse in your experience
Right.
of life.
Right.
So.
Do you feel like music is changing for the better and also in favor of the artist, because now, with AI's come and made it possible for people to put their music out even further versus you know um having a manager and a someone else to do it, and like how it used to be back in the day, like essentially you can make music in your basement. Things are completely different now.
Yeah. I think music is to me, be honest with you, I feel like music was going to me down a path, like almost to me a dark path from what I remember how music was. I could turn on the radio station and I could just let the radio station play, and without worried about anything. Now I got to turn on the radio station and I got to actually listen to the lyrics of every song just to make sure it's not offending to someone, you know? And I feel like that's where we got to clean up music. You know, it seemed like it's like every song is just about this making money or drugs or killing or woman or degrading woman or something like that. And so I say, something, man, I gonna be the like I gonna make a song where we could say, hey, we could party, we could have fun, but they ain't gotta be degrading. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that's it. And it's the truth, because as a man and I like woman, a woman, they like men. So, and you know what I'm saying? And we have youths and we have young boys and girls, So we
Yeah.
just got to, be strategic in how we deliver our messages in our music or even deliver our songs. We could party, you could have club songs, party songs, all that's fun. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I feel like music just been going from good to like worse. you know,
Absolutely.
but that's only Krueshef opinion though. I'm
Do you
just, you know.
Yeah, no,
Those are
and
the
you're right.
honest.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. Do you feel like the mute like your so, like do you feel like you have cracked the code when it comes to kind of cross pollinating with like dance hall kind of music to the American audience, or is it still kind of very much hard to like break into that like world?
I want to say it's kind of tough to break into the world, where you're trying to like bring the dancehall and the American music together. You know what I mean? Because one of the biggest challenges is from my American friends is they tell me, I don't understand. It sounds nice, but I don't understand it. You know what I mean? And but then at the same time, I say, okay, you know what? You gotta listen to dancehall music if you really want to understand the accents, right? And
Mhm.
then they'll be like, okay, but they love it. They still
Right.
love music. It's still awesome. But I
Yeah.
believe that I think that we as a artist, we could just try to, try to be clearer and try to improve ourselves every time. And I feel like I'm in a good spot when it comes to like me being clear on the mic. I'm
Right.
hoping that, you guys can understand me a little bit better than everyone else too. I'm hoping I'm trying to be more clear and trying to mix in the good music in there with the message. I think I find that right perfect spot. This is where I want to be at. So it's like if there's a topic about let's say life, I want to be on the right there on the light side of life. So I'm going to talk about
Mhm.
that side. I ain't going
Yeah.
to talk about the other side of life. I'm trying to talk about this side.
Absolutely. Um, so I have a fun question since
Mhm.
now that I think I know your answer, but there's no wrong answer. But the three levels
Okay.
of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Money, power, respect. Man, that's a hard one for real. Um,
No
I like
wrong.
all of them.
I
but
know, me. Same, same, same.
Well, if I could only choose one, let's see. Money, power, respect. Well, take this out. I'm gonna go with respect
Okay.
because the money gonna come, and to me, the power will come as well.
Mm.
But respect is something that you just don't gain. You can't buy respect out of the stores. See, I could get money from a store. Power, I could get a job, become a CEO, and get power. I could be a police officer and have power. But respect is something that's earned. You just can't see it as intangible. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I would go with respect because to me, respect. If you respect me, then when I come to you with work, you're gonna respect me by paying me what I'm worth. You'll respect me
Mm.
in everything that I do. So if I need an opportunity, if I need some help, I need some cash, you're gonna respect me enough to bless me, show me how to get there, how to make this bag. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
I go with respect.
Absolutely. It's a great answer. Wonderful answer. Um,
Yes, man.
so do you feel like indie artists like Chance the Rapper, he's an indie artist. He says he never signed a deal with a big major label. He did it
Mhm.
himself. But I mean, and his career's flourishing. And on the other hand, you see people who get signed and big labels or record companies, and it seemingly seems good, and they give them a great amount of money in advance. But then you hear about the 360 deals. You hear about people kind of getting stuck into their labels, and they want to get out. Like Megan Thee Stallion had a situation with her old label that she was working. Like they had her music rights, and she could not leave or create music. She had to finish certain
Mm.
things. So, do you feel like, obviously there's pros and cons to both, but do you feel like it's for up and coming artists or just artists in general, is it good to all just to have your own, or do you think every artist aspires to be, on a label?
I think I think we all inspired as a musician, we all inspired to first be on a label because that's the path that we think that this is how we have to go
Hmm.
to make it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is something that we all was just trying to do. But then when you realize the business side of the labels, like what they're doing and how they're operating, then you say, you know something, I could do that myself. why would I pay someone, X, Y, and Z amount of money or take an advance that where I know I gotta pay back this man this money he just gave to me, you know what I'm saying? Versus I can make my own money, especially if I'm making money and doing it on my own,
Yeah.
then the record label gonna come in and be like, hey, we want to sign you and you got to give me this percentage now. And I'm like, well, to me, I think if I make it on my own to the point where I'm sustaining myself, I got enough money and I can do everything on myself successfully and still have the shows and still have tours and still, do my interviews and radio and everything else, then I won't sign with a label. I just stay independent because
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's like you're giving away your money to another person for free
Right.
who is going to pretty much do the same thing that you're doing. Just they might do it more because if they got more money than you. But if you're making money independently, all that money come back into your pocket. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. There's no
So
like middleman or whatever.
yeah, it got to be something really, really good for you to say, hey, all right, I will go ahead and join this label.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
got to be something really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
What do you want people, what are your hopes for this new single that people walk away with after listening to it?
Man, my hopes is for them is to have more empowerment within themselves and to most importantly know that light, and that light is Jesus Christ.
Love
Yawasha Mashiach. I say it in Hebrew because I try to practice a little Hebrew. So that's what he says, Shalom, Shalom. So
it.
I want them to know that there's that greatness and that light is in them. And as long as they keep that light within them, they will always be blessed. From the Most High, Jah, people say Jah, and I say Yah. And they
Yeah.
say Jesus Christ, and I say Yawasha HaMashiach, because that's in Hebrew.
I love it. I
But
love it.
that's what I want them to walk around with. You got the greatness inside of you. Believe it.
Amen. Amen. Where
Amen.
can people find you on social media to follow everything you got going on?
All right. People can find me at Krueshef.com. That's my home base website. Krueshef.com/music. If you want to listen to my music, if you want some merch, if you want to check out my videos, my press, my bio, everything about me is on Krueshef.com. People can also go to all the social media sites like Instagram.com/Krueshef, Facebook.com, El Krueshef, and also Twitter/Krueshef, YouTube.com/Krueshef Music. Yeah, here you don't know. So I'm everywhere.
I love it. I love it. I love it. One last thing. What would you say to the up and coming artists that want to get into music? What advice would you give them?
The best advice I would tell them right now, if you want to get into music, is don't quit. Don't quit. Keep going. Trust me, the journey is a long journey for some of us, but don't quit. Learn the music business. That's the number one main thing. Learn the music business. Make sure you understand, everything about a record, the business side of it, your contracts, how to protect yourself because you got a lot of people out there who try to take advantage of you. But if you learn the music business, you don't have to let that happen. So learn the music business, keep going, and never quit because music doesn't hurt nobody. You hear?
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. And thank
Anytime, Moshe.
thank you. And thank you all
So,
for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
blessings. Shalom.